The Nintendo Switch 2 has officially been announced by Nintendo themselves. Now, the thing that I have to ask is, what does this mean for Splatoon? Of course, I have to ask the question because your boy is all about Splatoon. So, of course, we have to go check out this trailer real quick. I've already seen it like maybe about 10 times because personally, I'm super excited about this. And I definitely think everyone who, I guess, plays Nintendo's Switch in general or just Splatoon in general should also be excited as well because this is looking real sick. So we have to watch this back because as you can see, Nintendo basically shows off the regular Nintendo Switch and it's of course the first one. They make the screen a little bigger. They have magnetic Joy-Cons. Like, I don't know if you guys have been following some of the leaks by a bunch of different insiders and all that type of jazz. A lot of the stuff that they have been saying basically came true. So I'm watching this. To be honest, I'm not even that surprised that I saw what I saw because like I feel like when I saw the U handle shape on the back of the Switch, I was just like, yeah, they were right. But there's one particular thing that I want to point out, which I mean, okay, first of all, can we just mention, I don't think Joy-Con drift's ever going to happen again, but we're going to have to see, just looking at the design of that stick, either way. But besides that, there's one thing that I have to like point out, because of course, I talk about Splatoon a whole bunch, but I have to mention this thing. There are optical sensors within the Joy-Cons, which you may or may not have known if you've been following the leaks and all that type of stuff, but if you haven't, of course, they are there. Now, the main thing for why I'm pointing this specific thing out is because, of course, Splatoon's a third-person shooter, and there's two control schemes that are currently within it. We have gyro controls / motion controls, which some would say is the main way to play Splatoon, and of course, we have just regular dual-stick input. Now, is there a possibility where in the next game of Splatoon, or in the current game of Splatoon 3, where there potentially could be another input? That, of course, being a mouse input. As you can see in this mouse, you have the optical sensor right here, and as you can see, it's in the Joy-Con as well. So it kind of makes me think that, okay, so since some have said, I mean, of course, we don't know the exact, I guess, official specs of the Nintendo Switch 2 currently, but some say that it's going to be far more powerful than the original Switch, which I 100% agree with. So it's got me thinking that maybe this is a feature that they want to include or at least have third-party developers that have specific games that work really well with mouse or just a first-person shooter or anything like that. It makes me think that games that might require this feature are just now a whole lot more accessible for Nintendo Switch users. Now I'm going to play the trailer just a little bit more. Of course, you can see the buttons. Of course, you got, of course, the stick. The stick looks really, really cool. You got the skates. There are mouse skates or some sort of skates that allow the optical sensor to be what it is. So as you can see, as it continues to play. They don't show it off to huge degrees, but it's kind of like a hint that, okay, yep, you kind of move your Joy-Con on the table and it just kind of just skates and may work in that potential way. I mean, I'm just thinking, of course, like looking at the design of the Joy-Cons too. Like, I'm just trying to think about it. Like, of course, like if I was just to show this, I mean, you could kind of click your fingers like this. I mean, I feel like on that specific Joy-Con, it's going to be much bigger. So like it might feel a little bit more natural, especially that R button. I mean, I'm just looking at the R button. Let me just go back. The R bumper button is like much wider than the original Joy-Con. So I'm just thinking that, so it quite literally could be a mouse input. So it gets me really excited. So like I said, back onto the topic of what does this mean for Splatoon? So like I said, there are two inputs that we already have, gyro and stick input. Now the inclusion of a possible mouse input would be very, very cool. Like if it is a thing. It kind of makes me wonder that, okay, what if Nintendo actually makes a separate accessory? Because of course, if they were going to include a mouse input, like I'm not too sure if like how optimal this would be. Whoops, I actually played the thing. I'm not too sure how optimal this would be, but I'm gonna try and demonstrate it. So basically, if I was to go to this camera right here, you have of course, your Joy-Con, your mouse input or whatever, and then you're doing this, you're doing that, and like honestly, with my original Joy-Con, this feels pretty okay. Like I can just click, you know, and you have this as well. And I'm pretty sure it'll probably feel even better on the Switch 2 itself. But at the same time, you need a keyboard. Like, I don't know about you, if I was to bring the other Joy-Con here, like, okay, I can imagine myself doing this, but I could not imagine myself doing this with, I guess, all the rest of the buttons and all that type of stuff. Maybe it might work, and they probably will figure out some ways to actually make it work. But like, at the same time, I just think that if they're gonna do something like, okay, you can use the right Joy-Con as just a regular mouse, cool. You could actually have another accessory like a mini keyboard or some sort, just like maybe like a Nintendo keyboard, whichever. And maybe you could quite literally play the game like you were playing on a PC or some sort. I think that kind of feature would be really, really cool, or an accessory of some sort. Maybe it's something that they introduced to us into, I guess, April, because like if we were to continue to play the trailer just a little bit more, they actually do mention that there is going to be a Nintendo Switch 2 Direct on April 4th, which I personally cannot wait for, because of course that's just going to be just a banger time, because I mean it's been so long since we've actually seen a Nintendo Direct of any sort, so it's just like finally we can actually have something to look forward to and you know, get hyped about again, because not gonna lie, it's been quite the drought for what's it called, anything Nintendo in terms of anything. So like, you know, I'm really looking forward to it. Also, of course, you saw Mario Kart 9 or 10 or whatever this Mario Kart is. I just want to point out, I don't know if you guys saw this, but this is 24 starting positions. It's kind of making me think that, I guess for Mario Kart, whatever this is called, I feel like 24 something switches are going to be somewhat connected to this. And in general as well, I think there's probably going to be like a Super Smash Bros kind of thing where there's like several Nintendo characters, or maybe just more Mario characters just within this Mario Kart, because you're gonna have to have quite the roster of like characters to be able to fill up all 24 of those slots. I'm just saying. Nintendo Online, I mean, we'll have to see how that handles it, but like, yeah, it's got me thinking. But also it's got me thinking of like the potential for like other games, like of course Splatoon 4 or whatever this next Splatoon game might be called. I feel like that might be the next step for Splatoon, and like have the inclusion of more players within a single game instead of it just being 4v4 for every single, I guess, mode, but like have maybe 10 or 5v5 or 12 versus 12 or anything like that. Like it'll be really cool to see what they do for the future of Nintendo Switch and Splatoon as well. So but like I said, of course, it's Splatoon 3 will be able to be played on this. I can't wait to play it, and all that type of stuff. Nintendo Directs on April the 4th, so that's going to be really cool. And then of course, series of hands-on events held around the world. Obviously your boy lives in London, and if you're living in London, we have a day at, I think, April the 11th and till the 13th, probably, okay, the 11th, the 12th, and the 13th. That's what I'm trying to say, but yeah, man, that's pretty much everything I had to say. I am seriously looking forward to what is going to happen this year. Of course, I'm going to be streaming and talking about Nintendo Switch 2 for as long as I can, of course. I'm excited to see what Nintendo brings out for this year. And I don't know, guys, I think this is 100% a time to be really excited for what's to come. Because if we were to talk about Splatoon again, of course, there are a couple of different things that I would wish to see. I think one of those things would be, maybe it's a big cope, but I would love to see it 120 frames in docked mode. I would love to see it for certain Nintendo games, hopefully Splatoon. I would love it if there was reduced input lag, because on the Nintendo Switch itself, it's very annoying, but it exists. And yeah, honestly, that's pretty much all I gotta say. I mean, those are kind of the two things that we're just gonna have to wait for, and then we're gonna have to play it for ourselves when the time comes. And yeah, man, hope you guys enjoyed. Let me know what your thoughts on the Nintendo Switch 2 and Splatoon. And I mean, of course, Splatoon, I mean, I'm talking about Splatoon 4. That thing is not probably gonna come out till like 2026, but or late 2026. Who knows at this point? But either way, I'm looking forward to it. I hope you guys are as well. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to like it and subscribe to the channel for more, and I shall see you guys in a future video.